to speak on
Mm-hmm.
for what they have put in the work necessary.
There you go.
And when they didn't get it, they no longer uh, could function in BPM.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so you know what we did? We got rid of them. Now this ain't the topic we speaking on tonight, but Miami, alpha male. We said Miami. We want to get a branch in Miami, such as snakes. You right, lady. We want to get a branch in Miami. We want to get a branch in Tallahassee. We want to lock down all of Florida, but we've learned our lesson with the people that we deal with, and you got to have a track record, and you got to be a real dude. I want to say a real N-word, but I have recently converted to not using that word, but it has meaning in that context, so I'm not going to use it. But anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about black manhood. I'm going to give you a black manhood reading list. We're going to show you some black manhood weapons. We're going to teach you some fundamentals in black manhood. And on top of that, we're going to attack some recent trends in black manhood. Now, before I even sat down here, I had a checklist of things to go over here with you. And that's just a practice that will come if you're a lawyer. You always want to have you a little outline of what you want to say when you get in front of people, what you want to do, and how you want to lay things out. Well, I had my outline, and my outline was already done when my wife said to me, Vern, before you start your show, I got some information or I got another issue that you need to cover. And I said, what's that issue? She said, did you hear about the male romper? I said, the male romper? What the hell is that? Is it real? She said, yes, it's a real male romper. It's like a onesie. I said, oh, hell no. But Jesus, a lot of people don't like when I talk about Jesus as a black nationalist, but hey, a lot of people, all of you people who don't like the church, you never went in and tore a church up like Jesus did you? Now that's masculine, ain't it, Zeke? Zeke went in and tore it. Jesus went in and tore a church up. But I guess it was God's will that as we embark upon this discussion of black manhood, the enemy drop another attack on us, which is the black male onesie or romper. The craziest thing about it is when I met my wife, she used to wear these rompers all the time, and that's one of my favorite things to see her in is a romper. Now you got guys running around wearing rompers. Now, if you don't believe that something is going on strange, you're just lost. All right? So let that be the backdrop as we start this discussion. Now, before we get started, before we can have a discussion on black manhood, we have to define what black manhood is. Zeke, give me one of them blueprints. Matter of fact, I got one right here. Let's go ahead and define black manhood. Now, I wrote a book, The Blueprint for Black Youth Empowerment. Much of it focuses on black manhood and building black youth. And if you turn to page 27, I give you my definition, or the BPM definition, of what black manhood is. Because if we're going to discuss black manhood, we got to first define what black manhood is. And so here's the BPM definition of black manhood. Black manhood is the decision of a black male, that's component one, a black male, only a black male can be a black man. Sorry, you Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner fans, okay? It's the decision of a black male to willingly take on the mandates of African manhood. Keywords willingly, keywords African. I know there are some people who don't want to be African. We'll deal with that subject in BPM this Saturday. But if you're black, you're an African. All life started in Africa. The black man is an African. Now you can start up all your alternative theories, but we know the original Grimaldi man, when God made man in his own image, he made a black man and a black woman. The black man is an African, okay? The decision of a black male to willingly take on the mandates of African manhood. These mandates include the obligation to seek and know God. Okay, some people say, well, the black man is a God. He's a God, but he's not the God. He's not the creator. So if you're going to be a black man, you're going to need to know God, right? Okay? And to know himself. In order for the black man to know himself, he must know God. In order to be a black man, you must know who you are. You must have a cultural identity. You must know your history. You must know the accomplishments and failures of your ancestors. If you really going to be a black man, I don't think you can be a black man without knowing your history. What you think, man?
I agree.
Vern agrees. Okay. To know himself, next obligation, to raise a black family and to acquire the knowledge and skills necessary to ensure the safety, longevity, and prosperity of that family, to work in the best interest of our people overall. Now, what is this boy talking about? Hey, Kia AO1 said, if you're African, you don't want to go with Europeans. You're a Zulu warrior. You know what, man? I guess you could have gave this lecture because you're getting all ahead of ourselves. But let's go ahead and outline its different components in this. Acquire the knowledge and skills necessary to ensure the safety, longevity, and prosperity of his family, to work in the best interests of our people overall. That's the BPM definition of black manhood. If you want to be one, you got to meet those requirements. If you don't, then you can't be a black man, not a real black man. Let me talk about this. There was an individual, I was advocating for the black family on my Facebook. I wasn't on his Facebook. I was advocating for the formation and maintenance and building of black families. And an individual came on my Facebook page and said, are you saying that all black men have to start black families and be family men and marry a black woman and raise children? I said, yes. He said, whoa, well that bothers me because I'm offended by rigid definitions of black manhood. I'm offended by those and I push back against those. I said, why don't you get off my damn page? Because every damn day you're going to be offended messing with this page. This is a pro-black family page. If you want to get with the fluidity movement, you better go join Black Lives Matter, right? Because every day you get on this page, we're going to advocate everything that got to do with the black family. Because the black family is the foundation of the black nation. So if you don't like what I'm saying about the black family, get the hell on. I'm not saying you have to do it. You don't have to do it because you don't have to be a real black man. There's some other shit you can be. But I'm just trying to figure out what you want to do as a black man other than get you a beautiful black queen and build you a black family. What else you got in mind? Vern, you got any ideas what he got in mind?
Some gay jump.
Baby. Now, Vern's 17, so y'all can't expect him to be politically correct, but Vern said that if you don't want to start a black family and build a black family, you must be, I ain't going to say what he said, I'll just say gender confused. Okay? You must be gender confused and have some ulterior desires, right? I don't know what else the hell you want to do. Either you want to sleep around and be a man whore, or you want to be a Bayard Rustin, James Baldwin. We'll talk about them in a few minutes. Don't let me get ahead of myself. All right. Now that we've defined black manhood, I need to go into the fact that black manhood is under attack. Can I prove it? Well, again, we're going to go back to the blueprint for black youth empowerment, available on Amazon and Kindle. Is black manhood under attack? I want you to turn to page 16 if you have it. If not, buy it and then do it. Now, the number one principle that I outlined for anybody who wants to work in the empowerment of black youth is that you must understand and acknowledge that young black males in America are under attack. Now, I'm just going to read you a quick 2-paragraph summary. I ain't going to go into the whole attack because that would take a long time. But just bear with me as I read these few lines. Attribute number 1, acknowledgement and understanding that young black males are under attack in America. From the onset of the transatlantic slave trade, throughout hundreds of years of chattel slavery, followed by the institution of the convict lease system, Jim Crow, mass lynching, the war on drugs, and police and vigilante killings such as the murder of Trayvon Martin, Young black males in America have always been and still are the targets of intense spiritual, intellectual, psychological, and physical violence, subjugation, and destruction. Today, young black males stand at the center of a perfect storm of racist and capitalist interests which profit from their miseducation, over-medication, mass incarceration, and economic castration. The underfunding of urban public schools based primarily upon property taxes, the profit-driven push to medicate black boys for normal juvenile and adolescent behavior, the sick and violent music that is pushed upon them, the genetically modified and poisonous cheap food, in quotes, that is prevalent in their neighborhoods, and a criminal justice system that is hostile towards black males and does more to harm than do good for them, all work to keep our black males ignorant, confused, poor, marginalized, and non-competitive. Vern, how you feel about that?
100% agree.
Sum that up in the words of a teenager for the people who might think I got a little too wordy.
Okay. oh yeah.
Lean in for Instagram.
The system, the American government overall is trying to get us cased up.
I guess that's how the teenagers could understand it. But black manhood is under attack. And there are a few reasons that black manhood is under attack. Number one, as Brother Baruti outlined in his book, Homosexuality and the Feminization of the African Male, throughout history, the vast majority of the wars have been fought by men. And while there have been great warriors like Empress Nzinga, Yaa Asantewaa, Queen Candace in Ethiopia, the vast majority of wars are fought by men. And so whenever you go to conquer, marginalize, subjugate, dominate, exploit, and enslave a people, you have to attack the men. Because we're the ones that are a little more, we have the testosterone. We have the extra rebellious spirit. We have the muscle mass, and we have the tendency and the will to fight back. Even though some of our women these days got more fight than our men. I'm just talking about historically. When you talk about a brother like Shaka Zulu or a brother like Nat Turner, the black men are the ones who the white men fear. The white men don't fear black women. They desire black women, but they have to suppress that and pretend like they don't. But anyway, when you know that you're going to subjugate people, you must marginalize, you must degrade and dominate their men first. Because I believe that was that Dr. Baruti? We just heard Brother Baruti speak the other day. And he said, if they come and take your men tonight, they'll be back for the women in the morning. Right? They'll be back for the women in the morning. And so they know they must wipe out our men first. And they always have. And so when they went to Africa, they used a multitude of techniques to take our men, even though they were valiant warriors. They used multiple techniques to turn our people against each other. They came in under the pretense of brotherhood and economic trade and various things, and weaseled their way in, but they knew they had to get the man first. And just as it was then, it is now. They want to subjugate, dominate, but this is the thing now. Whereas they used to want to put our men in chains, they have a different approach today. What do you think their approach today is, Vern?
Keep our mind in chains.
Baby, the words of a 17-year-old BPM soldier. Nowadays, they go for the mind. Because as Carter G. Woodson said, as a man thinketh, so is he. And so today, they want to keep our men ignorant, as I said in the quote from the book, over-medicated, miseducated, and over-incarcerated, so that they won't be any factor when it comes to economic competition. They won't be any factor when it comes to political competition. They won't be any factor for the white men who desire our women. They just won't be any factor, and that'll make our kids easy targets for the prison industrial complex. So, yes, black manhood is under attack. Now, I'm not going to list all the attacks, but I'm just going to talk about a few popular ones right quick. Young Thug. Young Thug is a direct, overt, disgraceful, sorry, pitiful, embarrassing attack on black manhood, and I don't have anything good to say about him. And I would like to say some other things, but as a practitioner of law in the state of Florida, there's a limit to what I can say. But let me just say, he's a sick, despicable bastard. And anybody who says, well, he doesn't know what's going on, he's just being used. Well, guess what? At some point, you got to be responsible for being used. At some point, you have a duty to know, right? At some point, when they're asking you to do so many unnatural things, you have to know that you're being used against your people. And any so-called thug rapper who comes out and says he's not a male or a female, he's a third gender, right? He says he's a third gender. He's going to wear dresses. He's going to encourage our kids to be stoners. Well, guess what? I don't care if you don't know and you just a puppet. Your ass need to be beat to sleep as well. You and the puppet master. Would you agree, Vern?
Yeah.
Okay. So that whole gender fluidity movement that's being pushed, the rompers are another part of it. The skinny jeans are another part of it, right? Let's go ahead and get into it. The shirts that are cut that look like dresses are another part of it. They're easing you step by step down the road into a slippery slope. That's all a part of it, right? So I don't have any mercy on Young Thug. Then what was the other one she posted? He had on a dress. Lil Uzi Vert, but no, he had on a blouse.
Oh.
There was one with a long dress that Deanne posted, and it was like white. He had on boots.
I don't
know. It was another rapper. But they know that the rappers have a very influential impact on our kids' lives. And so they use them to push the most negative trends that they can think of. So yes, black manhood is under attack. And in the past, they wanted to brand you as violent criminals, violent thugs, the worst of the worst, sell dope. And they wanted to paint you as the most violent, aggressive, birth of a nation type thing. Now they took it a step further. They said that didn't work. They still continued to build black families. The black man and the woman still continue to find a way. We gotta find a way to tear them apart. We gotta find a way to get the black man to completely abandon every African mandate of black manhood. That's what they said. We gotta find a way to make him sick. We gotta find a way to make the black man mentally sick, just like Europeans are. Now let me go, before I go on to this, let me explain this, because somebody might say he's just being racist. Europeans and homosexuality and pedophilia go way back to pre-Greece, all right? And again, all you have to do is read Brother Baruti's book. It's clear. This is their way of life, not ours. We did not practice this way of life. It was not a part of our traditions. It was not a part of our rites of passage. It was not a part of who we are until we came into contact with outsiders, right? So, that was not us. People are trying to say it's us now, but that's not us. And they came up with this to make us abandon every spiritual mandate of African manhood. When we were in Africa, and I'm not just talking about Kemet because I'm not one of those people. We can go all the way into Ethiopia and the Sudan and West Africa, South Africa, wherever you want to go. Men had an essential and spiritual obligation to raise families. Right? This was it. The young was a spiritual thing. It wasn't social. It wasn't cultural. This was at the spiritual level. Man, woman, children. Right? This is what we did. And they could never get us to abandon that. And even today we won't abandon that. Because the only countries that still look with disdain upon the abandoning of the traditional gender roles and who still stick to the family structure and the man being a man and the woman being a woman, the only countries that do that are the African countries, and that's why they're the targets, right? That's why they're the targets, and that's why they brought in Obama to target them, right? Anyway, I ain't gonna get into Obama yet, but they had to find a way to get us to abandon the mandates of African manhood and this gender fluidity, this blurring the lines. Men can wear dresses. No one can say what manhood is. There's different ways to be a black man. No, the hell it ain't. It's only one way. It's only one way. What do you say, Vern?
There is only one way to be a black man.
It's only one way. And now this is what I'm going to say. Even though I don't support the Obamas any longer, I once did. I once worked for the Obamas. I'm going to take a quote from Michelle, because that's a beautiful black woman. Michelle said that whenever the Republicans go negative, they would go positive. Whenever the Republicans go low, the Democrats would go high. So let me tell you this. Every time they go more feminine for the black man, every time they go with a more feminine trend, dresses, nails, twerking, black boys twerking. I posted a video about that. Every time they go more feminine, we're going to go more masculine. How about that, Vern? Every time they go more feminine, we're going to go more masculine. Every time they try to brand black masculinity as something negative, we're going to let them know it's something positive. Whenever they say toxic masculinity, we're going to say the young life, right? Now, I'm pretty sure I was walking around with the biggest ever made in Jacksonville. But maybe that wasn't enough. So when they go more feminine, I'm going to go even bigger. You're going to see me walking around with this on my chest. I'll be the first lawyer ever to go in the courthouse with a this big strapped on his chest. Zeke, show him what you got on your neck. An AK-47. Just like that Arsenal ink over there. Every time they go, what is this person? 3 Chad 4 asked me, am I rich? Tell me what you mean by that. I'm going to continue with my discussion, but tell me why the hell you ask something like that, and I might get into it. Every time they go more feminine, we're going to go more masculine. That's why I decided to wear my armored plates today. Because when things break out, we got to be prepared as black men. That's why I decided to bring my scar. Before it's over, I might go get my Desert Eagle 50 cal. Every time they go more feminine, we're going to go more masculine. Right? Okay. That's our motto for the rest of this year. Every time they throw something negative at us, we'll go more masculine. We might lift some damn weights. We might go somewhere and get in a fight. We might do something that they would call hyper-masculine. Every time they go feminine, Vern, the next time they do something feminine, what should we do?
Go shoot.
Go shoot. Every time they go feminine, we got to go shooting. We got to do something more masculine, go hunting. You know what? Every time they go more feminine, I'm going to post a beautiful picture with me and my wife and my daughters. Because you can't get that. You can't get life out of a dead lifestyle. What they call it? What Irritated call it? A death style. Yeah, he calls it a death style. All right. So, let's see what else we got. Let's go to the mandates of manhood. I wrote down some key components of manhood. And I wrote down, I believe, 6 or 7 of them. And I'll just go through these. And if anybody has a problem with it, then go ahead and post your comment. And then we'll get into it. Number 1, my number 1 mandate in manhood is to know God. Right? I don't believe that you can be a real black man without knowing God. I don't believe that you can be intellectually strong, mentally strong, emotionally strong, without being spiritually strong. I don't believe that you can be a good leader without knowing God, because God is the most powerful, right? And when you have faith, right, when you live for a higher purpose, then you don't care about dying so much. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's part of real black manhood. You can't be afraid to die, because when you become a real black man, you risk your life every day, right? I don't want to get off topic. I'm gonna go back to God, but let's just get this clear. Whenever you become a real black man, whenever you decide you're not gonna go along with the bullshit trends that they give you, whenever you decide that you're gonna love one black woman and raise a black family, whenever you decide you're gonna work for your community, whenever you decide you're not gonna bow down to white supremacy, whenever you decide you're gonna build your own businesses and do for self, whenever you decide that you will die for your family and for your people and kill, whenever you make that decision, you become a threat. There's no doubt about it. Okay, sorry. I hate to let you in on that secret, but you become a threat. And you will be targeted. And not just by Europeans, by your own people. Because black males who aren't men, I'm talking about feminine black men, feminists, right? Integrationists, people who want to be dependent and not ruffle any feathers, they're going to target you the worst. Right? Marcus Garvey didn't get targeted by the government first. The government didn't even know who the hell Marcus Garvey was because they weren't even, Marcus Garvey wasn't talking to white people. He was only talking to black people. Now I was just listening to a lecture on this from Irritated. The first person to initiate the discussion, the investigation on Garvey was a black person. An emasculated black man named A. Philip Randolph. Now we're going to get to that later because people want to say that if you don't support gay rights, then you are homophobic, you hate gays, and this the stupidest thing they say, you just scared you might be gay. That's the reason you won't support it. Let me tell you something. Homosexual, emasculated black men hate real masculine, heterosexual black men who are independent, fearless, and black nationalists. They hate them. It's not like they're just saying, let me be okay, let me live the way I want to live. They're saying, I hate what you stand for, and if you won't practice the insanity that I practice, then I'll try to find a way to make sure you get destroyed. Nah, that's why. That's why we don't support it. I ain't got nothing to do with them. I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of nothing. If I was scared, I wouldn't be doing the things I'm doing and saying the things that I'm saying. But what you got to realize that if you study history, right, just go watch The Feminization of Black Male by Irritated or either Nat Turner Rising. You would see that the prominent civil rights leaders that were propped up by our enemies, A. Philip Randolph, next up Bayard Rustin, next up James Baldwin, next up D. Ray McKesson, were all emasculated black men that hated black nationalism. They didn't want us to have our own. They didn't want us to seek independence. They want us to be dependent integrationists, begging for all of our damn life. That's the reason. Right? Okay. Now, I got off topic there. I was talking about God. When you have faith, I got off topic for a second because I got mad. When you have faith, right? You're not so afraid. You're not afraid. And believe me, not being afraid is going to be crucial because the odds are against us, right? We're behind. But like Malcolm said, we don't care about any damn odds. Right? But see, Malcolm he was living for a higher purpose. Marcus Garvey was living for a higher purpose. Khalid Muhammad was living for a higher purpose. Elijah Muhammad was living for a higher purpose. You got to have faith. And so I put spirituality as number one. And I didn't come here and tell you that you had to practice a certain religion. I'm a Christian or either a follower of Christ. Christ is my hero, which many don't like in the conscious community. But hey, like I just said, I'll point out some revolutionary things about Christ that half of you in the country community never did. But I'm just telling you that you need to have a spiritual connection to God. You need to have faith, and you need to have righteousness. Okay, we got to have some principles. Because if you don't have no morals and no principles that you live by, you can be shifted either other way. See how I did my shoulders? You just shifted any other way. I know some shifty damn people in Jacksonville. But I ain't gonna say no names yet. So if Vern say some names, then I'm gonna say some names. But I ain't saying no names yet. All right. So Vern, tell them how you feel about that component.
Which part?
The spirituality.
Oh, well, obviously you gotta have God. You gotta have something that you stand on, and you gotta put it into practice every day.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just talk about it or claim it on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be out living that life and really putting that stuff into practice.
I agree 100%. You can't just claim God. And the Bible says, hey, I sound like a preacher now. The Bible says, Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is within you. Right? Well, the Kemetic proverb that predated the Bible said that he that would know himself, right? The kingdom of heaven is within. And if you would know yourself, right? That's how you know God. That's how you achieve heaven. So that's what we're going to go with this one. We're going to go with that one as number one. Now, I want to put people on alert about something. When I say faith takes away the fear, when you take away the fear, then you can be a real black man. You can't be scared all the time. Now, I want to articulate this as clearly as possible. A real black man, when the time is right, he adopts an I don't give a damn attitude. Now, how can an I don't give a damn attitude ever be good? I'll give you an example. If somebody does something to my daughter, I don't give a damn. I'm messing shit up. All right? See what I'm going with that, Vernon? If you bring injustice to my front door, but it's not even about me. I can accept a lot more. Police can knock me down, cuss me out, call me a nigger. I'll try to be smart and resolve the situation. But if somebody does something to my wife or my daughters or some of my young black progressionists, it's going to be an I don't give a damn. Because some things men don't have to accept. And when you accept them, you cease to be a man. And you look whoever did them in the face, and you don't give a damn if he's in a superior position, and you don't care what his title is, and you don't care if you're outman, and you don't care if you're outgunned. That's black manhood, right? Okay, there we go. Because they say when one of these situations arise, you got to be calm, careful, don't do anything stupid. I agree. Whenever you can resolve a situation without bloodshed, without loss of life, you should do it. But what I'm saying is that Sandra Bland, right? Sandra Bland. Or let's take a more recent example. Whenever you see these black women in these Asian stores being beat the hell up, I tell you what. They say, well, if you beat up the Asian, you might catch a battery charge. So the hell what? If you're a black man, you probably gonna catch a charge somewhere, jaywalking or anything. So if you see Asian or anybody, unless it's domestic, now that gets a little bit more complicated. But I'm talking about you see these people attacking our women for no reason. Like Tariq Nasheed said, you ought to bust their damn teeth out their mouth. Right? Bust their damn teeth out their mouth. Now I'm talking about manhood. Now I was researching a black war leader from Sierra Leone many years ago. And he gave me a magnificent example of black manhood. They were being colonized by a European nation. I believe it was the British. And I believe the British general or consulate or whatever the hell it was in charge of that area, he put a hit out on this black leader's head. And I think it amounted to like $100 or something, right? Let me tell you what the black man did. I believe his name was Ben Burry. I'm going to post his name. Somebody remind me to post his name when it was over. When the British general put a hit out on him for about $100, you know what the black man did? He said, how dare you insult me with that amount? He put a hit out on the British leader's head for $500 damn, right? Okay, there we go. Now we're talking about manhood. Because you're not looking at your opponent as if he's so great. You're not looking at your opponent as if he's so damn invincible that he can't be beat. Right? You can't never beat an opponent. I played football. I went to college on a football scholarship. I went into the octagon. I went into the boxing ring just to see what I could do. You cannot beat an opponent when you feel like he's invincible. And what that brother did in Sierra Leone was say, guess what? You put a hit on my head, I'll put a hit on your head. That's the spirit of Marcus Garvey and Nat Turner. Right? So we're going to have to start feeling like our opponent is so invincible. We're going to have to start being dependent on our opponent. And we're going to have to start just straight up living like men. What the hell else? They'll kill you if you just run. Right? The guy in North Carolina, what was his name? They had him on film. He ran. He turned and ran, and the police shot him, and they went and planted a weapon on him. shot him in the back. Trayvon ran. They killed him. Jordan Davis was just playing some music. They killed him. So if you think you're going to be safe just by trying to be less appeasing, less threatening and more appeasing, you're a damn fool. So, yeah. Let's get back to being men and seeing our opponent as what he is. Somebody who can be defeated. All right. Next, a black man is always working. What that mean to you, Z?
He's always working in like every sense of the word to get his spiritual better, his financial, physical, and every way just trying to improve himself and the life of his family.
That's
people he care about.
That's right. What else?
Working. Yeah, like I said, financially.
Financially is important. Okay. Now Zeke is right. This is the way I wrote this down on my paper. A real black man. Now I'm finna come after some black men now. That's enough talking about the European. Let's go after some black men. Not like the feminists do, but a real black man going after some fake black men. Walter Scott, that was his name. Nicole Joy W. Shout out to Nicole Joy W. That's a real black woman. Matter of fact, let me pause right now because I want to give a shout out to all the real black women that are my followers on Instagram. Because when I first started talking about the feminization of the black male, when I first started to talk about the dresses and he got the boys wearing heels and twerking, a lot of the black women came after me like I was some kind of criminal and said I was being oppressive and hateful. But then I started to notice that the real black women started stepping in, right? And the real black women started saying, we need real men. And the real black women started saying, my son would never do that shit. And the real black women started coming in and said, this is repulsive. That's not manhood. I'm talking about the real black women. They got angry, right? And every time I saw one of them sisters coming in getting turned up for black manhood, I followed them. I said, let me follow her. That's a soldier. Let me follow her. That's a soldier. Let me tell you something. The black women are getting pissed, right? The black women are starting to realize that the more you emasculate our black males, the more you deplete the population from which they might get a real husband one day. And despite what the feminists are doing, and despite what the LGBTQAYZ movement is doing, the majority of real black women still want a black husband, right? So the ones that are wisening up, because let me tell you, there's some out there supporting that shit. But there's a massive group of real black women who don't like it, and they waiting on some black men to stand up and fight it. And so shout out to the real black women out there, right? Who ain't with that, who about this arc life. Shout out to those women. Now, I was getting ready to go on to always working. This is the way I put it in my thing. These women are too masculine. They reject masculine. Yeah, there you go. Nicole Joy W. said that those women are too masculine, so they reject masculine men. Baby! Now you about to get me into the chemical side of this, where they're trying to pump up estrogen in black men and pump up testosterone in black women. But I ain't going to get into that. I'm just going to say, you see a lot of black women walking around here dressed like men. But this the thing about it. This is how I know I'm right and that God is with me. She can have on baggy pants, a baggy white t-shirt, cornrows in her head, and you still know that's a woman. Am I right, Z? Mm-hmm. You still know. Breast tape down, I can still tell. And some of y'all too cute to be doing that. You still cute with all that on. Give it up. You're not a man. Okay? Now, a real black man is always working on everything some more. That's how I put it. Because real black men don't stop working. The only thing they do is stop working on one thing to work on another. Right? Their hobbies are work. A real black man is going to go to work, get some money. He's going to come home, build on something, think of another way to get some money. He's going to take a little time to play with the babies and see it. But the real black man's mind is on building and conquering and expanding. This is the mind of a black man. A real black man is a conqueror and a creator. A real black man is trying to find a way to secure a future for him and his family. You can't just do that working a 9 to 5. Right? Real Black Man finna come home. He's gonna take a few minutes with the family. Then his mind is gonna go to studying something, researching something, finding something else to work on that's gonna be profitable for him and his family in the future. Right? Real black men don't sit around and play video games. Okay? Zeke played them video games. He's not quite a man yet. Because if you got 5 hours to play a video game, you could have wrote a business plan. Right? You could have wrote a business plan. At Lady, she got a business. If you got 5 hours to play a video game, you could have wrote a business plan. Right? You could have went out and cut 3 yards. Right? I'm not saying that black men don't take leisure time. We do take leisure time, but that's secondary. Because a real black man knows you can't really have no damn leisure time without no money. How the hell you gonna go on vacation without no money? The judge asked me, I was in court the other day, he said, could I do a court date on a Friday toward the end of June? He said, I wanted to check because a lot of people are on vacation during that time. I said, I don't go on vacation. Hell, I'm going to go on vacation for spend $3,000. Give me $3,000, I'm going to buy another gun. But anyway, the point is my vacation is BPM. That's my pastime. That's my joy. That don't take 3 months. I'm back at work. A real black man is always working. All right? Now, what is he working on? Building his family, building an economic enterprise, building and protecting the community, building himself physically. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. A real black man is not a fat slob. You with me on that one, Zeke? Mm-hmm. Why couldn't the real black man be a fat slob?
I don't feel like he'd be able to properly defend his family if he had to.
He wouldn't be able to properly defend his family as he have to. And he's not a weak pimp squeak, is he, Vern?
Nope.
Why not?
Neither would he be able to defend his family if he had to.
Same damn reason. How you gonna tell me you're a real black man, your gut hanging over your belt, you can't walk 5 yards without being out of breath, or you 101 pounds, don't work out, smoke more weed, I'm talking about Young Thug again now, smoke weed and can't fight. Now let me take a pause to go down this road here. Because I get tired of seeing black kids in these hood fights that they post that cannot fight worth a lick. Now let me tell you something. The fact that it's a ghetto fight in and of itself being posted, that's embarrassing enough. But the fact that the men are swinging like this. Zeke, do you see it?
Yeah.
Men swinging like this. I'm sitting there like, what in the blue hell? Were there any men around? Were there any men around? When you were growing up, she said, Nicole Joyce said she didn't want to give no fat men a chance. She feel better now because I said that. Well, if they fat, at least they need to have a constructive plan to be remedying that, and they need to be putting in the work to do it. Meaning they're coming down from being fat. They're not just happy fat. Some of these dudes just happy being fat as hell. You're going to be dead by 50. You're already eating GMO. They're already poisoning that. You're going to be dead by 50. So, yeah, you was right for that. Nah, but back to what I was saying. In BPM we box, in BPM we wrestle, in BPM we practice all type. We got a judo team, right? And there's a lot of people out there trying to copy BPM these days, but they don't get quite as physical as we do because they're not ran by real men like we are. But what I'm saying is this: it's embarrassing to not be able to fight as a man. Because you can't call the police to protect your family. You won't always have a gun. It might come a time when you got to put your, as we say in the hood, put your shit up. Now, let me see. What stance is this, Vern?
Orthodox.
Orthodox. And what's the other one?
Southpaw.
Okay, Vern is a training fighter. I'm just a black man who can fight. Okay? So he can give you the technicalities. I can't. But, yeah, stop that stuff. Okay, if you're a young black boy and you don't know how to fight, and you don't have any confidence, you don't know how to protect yourself, come to BPM. We will show you the way. We'll show you the way to the light. Speaking of which, BPM Duval meeting this Saturday, 12:30 p.m., 5000 North Main Street. Right? We'll give you some skills. we'll show you how to get it in when the time comes. And I'm not talking about raising bullies, because we don't agree with initiating conflict. We don't agree with unnecessary fighting and all that stuff. We just want you to be ready to defend and protect yourself when the time comes. So I went over to one of my future points right now. But if the guy can't fight, ladies, if the guy can't fight, I'm not saying don't date him if he can't fight. But if he can't fight, you need to say, well, I'm signing you up for mixed martial arts. I'm signing you up for boxing. I'm signing you up for judo, taekwondo. I'm signing you up. And you need to go train 3 or 4 days a week, and then I'll give you a chance. But if he can't fight and he don't even want to know how to fight, send him packing. Because he's probably feminine. Feminine guys don't fight well. Nah. Can I prove it? Put D-Ray McKesson in the octagon with Vernon and see what happens. How you gonna fight like this? Oh, man. Okay, you're always working on something. Okay, this is what I really wanted to get to here. The real black man gonna provide for his family. Vernon, is that an option?
No, it's not an option. It's something God do.
Is that a choice?
No.
Okay, let me put it like this. If you're gonna make babies, right? Now, let me preface this because I don't want to sound, I said some things about the ghetto the other day and it made the whole ghetto mad. So let me preface this. I know that the system is against the black male. I'm a criminal defense attorney. It's in my book, The Blueprint for Black Youth Empowerment. The entire criminal justice system, economic, political, and social system in America is against the black male, specifically the masculine black male, because they all right with the effeminized black male. They in. They good to go. So I recognize that the system is against the black male. I recognize that jobs don't want to hire the black male. I recognize that they give our black males felonies so they can have an excuse not to hire them. I recognize that. When I came out of law school, I was an honor student, first time bar passer. Ain't nobody hire me. Right? Did they, Vern? I have not, I've been out of law school, 5 years now? I have not had anybody write me a check from their job, from their law firm, except black attorneys that I do business with that are also independent. So I recognize what the system is doing. But what I'm saying is this: it doesn't matter. The children didn't make the system this way. The children that you create didn't make the system this way, and they don't give a damn if the system is racist. All they know is that they are innocent, they are dependent upon you, and that if you don't provide for them, the whole burden shifts to their mother, or either they don't have it, right? So if you are going to create a child, if you're going to do it, you obligated to provide for that child, right? And this is my stance. If you create a child, right, and you make the decision to abandon that child and leave him and his mother to fend for themselves, you deserve to die. What you say, Vernon?
That's correct.
I think you deserve to die, right? I got more respect for the brother that hustle, sell dope or bootleg CDs or do something for his children than a sorry, despicable bastard who make children and disappear. You deserve to die. Nah, I ain't saying I'm gonna kill nobody. I ain't saying none of that. I'm just saying that a sick bastard. Because when you walk out of your child's life, it's more than just financial. It's emotional, it's spiritual, it's intellectual, psychological. It affects them in every way, especially little girls, right? If you make a child and abandon that child and that woman, you deserve to die. The Bible says that a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat. And the Bible says that a man who doesn't take care of his family is worse than an infidel, right? Now even the Christians can get with me on that one. You deserve to die. Now how about that? Can I get any more clear?
No, you hit everything.
I think I don't need to say nothing else about that. You have to provide. I don't care if you have to dig ditches, work at McDonald's. What you should have been doing was thinking about how to work for yourself. Because as I always say, I ain't gonna fire myself. Right? And like Dr. Boyce Watkins said, even if you on a white person's job, okay, a European's, you should be putting away some FU money for when they drop the hammer. Now I'm looking at this. That must be a white person. The negative teaching is then perpetuated. You better explain yourself, Morrow or 1980, because I don't know what you're saying with that.
Let me plug. Sorry, quick. It's a plug behind it.
All right. 1 second. We got to go ahead and put the charger in here. We almost threw our points. It's getting, Andres Mackey is on Facebook talking about kickboxing and Muay Thai. Did I say that right, Andres? Muay Thai? All I know is you better know how to throw some hands, grapple, wrestle, and get somebody up off of you.
It won't fit right there. Not no space.
Try to move it again.
All right.
1 second, we're correcting some technical difficulties here. I'm going to go to the next point in a second. All right, you got that, Vern? Okay. And yes, my little brother has the same name that I have. So when you hear me saying me and Vern, I'm not speaking like The Rock. I'm just speaking like how it really is. All right, let's see how we're going to work this. It might be kind of problematic. Oh, maybe that's what she's saying. I think Melanie just clarified something for me. Because I was about to, I don't know how I be. All right, there we go. We back online. Andreas, you still talking about Muay Thai over there? Kickboxing. Oh, Andrew said we twins. We're not twins because he's not as dark as me. So he always outside trying to work out to get as dark as I am, but he's not as dark as me. But he's getting darker. I'll give him that much. Okay, now, the next thing. But let's just remember what I said, ladies. If now, ladies, now y'all got to leave these suckers alone. Now I'm going to go off. I'm going to do this in 2 minutes. Ladies, here's a rule. And I'm not Steve Harvey, who have ruined marriage after marriage, dominated my wife in court and left her in financial ruin, and get on with a strawberry letter every morning that talks about more dysfunction. This is not information coming from Steve Harvey, because Steve Harvey will lay down some facts and some principles, and you'll think you know what he's talking about. But one thing about BPM is we believe you have to practice what you preach. So ladies, this is coming from a man who is married to his wife, has 2 daughters, came out poor my whole life, named 2 people that helped me to break the cycle were my black mom and my black wife, and I'm still with my black wife, and I'm faced with temptation every day of the week, but I choose to do what I need to do instead of what I want to do, right? This is who you're talking to now. If you come across a guy, I don't care if he's dressed to the T. I don't care if his talk game is extraordinary. I don't care if he tell you everything you want to hear. You just intend to sleep with him for one night and that's it. If this guy can't show you 1 or 2 things that he's been dedicated to for the last 3 to 4 years, get the hell away from him. Because if you're afraid of commitment in one area, it's going to show in every area. What do I mean by that? A lot of people say a college degree doesn't mean nothing. I say it does mean something because at least you stuck with something for 4 years. Right? Okay, have you ever started your own business? Because if you start your own business, you're not going to be doing well. Again, that's Boyce Watkins. You're not going to be doing well right off the bat. You're going to have to stick with that, even when it's rough, right? If you want it to get in shape, it's not going to happen in 1 week. You're not going to have abs and biceps immediately, meaning you're going to have to stick with it. So whenever you encounter a black man, I'm only talking about black men because I'm only talking to black women. If you encounter a black man, he needs to be able to tell you that something that he stuck to for 4, 5, 6 years, that he was doing the same thing then that he's doing now. He stuck to it and made it work, because that's what marriage is. Marriage hard as hell, right? And I don't think men and women should entertain each other unless the main goal is marriage. So if you ain't show me you can stick to anything, why the hell should I think you can stick to the marriage? Right? Okay, that was off topic, but just put that, as the pastor would say, if it doesn't apply to you now, put it in a can and put it on the shelf for later. You might be looking for a husband later, or you might be looking to be a husband later. Okay? So now, protect the black family. Okay. Now that's what we got Vernon here for. That's the only reason we got Vernon. That's all Vernon wants to do. I already said, I'm going to be the first real black man ever. If somebody tries to attack me, I'm going to say, leave me alone before I go get my little brother. Right? And here's why. A real black man has to have the mindset. That's the ideology. He has to have the knowledge, skills, and the tools to protect his family. This is the first step in military organization. Z, what's that saying?
Maybe that's the better.
Uh-oh. 1 minute, people. 1 minute.
It's charging. I don't know what that is.
Did you have an alarm or something?
Says video pause, reconnect.
1 minute. We have some technical difficulties here.
Guess it was just too long for the phone.
Okay. All right, we're getting it back online. There we go. There we go. All right. We're going to let the Instagram people get their stuff, get back on here, because something happened with the connection. But love that Kimmel Mercy Drive. Hey, man. Mercy Drive. Nah, talking about protect and defend, those are a couple of things you had to learn on Mercy Drive. But yeah, Mercy Drive for life. Not only that though, Malibu, Ivy Lane, Carver Shores, Texas Ave, OBT. Hell, even throw a pop in with that. But me, I'm Malibu and Mercy Drive to the day I die. Right? By birth. All right, so we're back online here. Let's get into the defense thing. Black people have got to realize what white people realize. White people think militarily in everything they do. Can I give you an example? If you think of the word prepper, there's a white person, there's a class of white people, a large class. And Queen Arthur 718 said hello from New York. What's up, Queen? Shout out to New York. There's a class, it's hard to get guns. I hear it's hard to get guns in New York and New Jersey. I'm glad I don't live there. It's easy in Florida. But oh, there goes Jacoby. Shout out Jacoby. Go follow Melanin Queen 101. That's a real BPM mom and a real BPM Queens in Training volunteer. There's a class of white people called preppers. And everything that these people do is in preparation for some major catastrophe. Whether it be a hurricane, tornado, whether it be some black people getting out of line, whether it be a fire, or whether it be the government. These white people, and I don't like to use that term because I don't want to, okay, white people are preparing every day. But what do they do when they prepare? They have weapons on top of weapons, ammo on top of ammo, They have food rations. They have secret hiding spots in their houses. They're practicing techniques to obtain food if there is no food. They have big old pickup trucks and off-road vehicles to escape if they need to escape. They're teaching their children. They're teaching their women. They're going to the gun range. Hell, they got machine guns, and not just semi-automatics, fully automatics. They can take the gun apart and put it back together. They can build a damn gun. James Yeager, these types of people, they preparing for a conflict. Matter of fact, if you Google a white guy by the name of James Yeager out of Tennessee, Barack Obama said something about gun control. James Yeager went and grabbed all his guns and said, if this black guy say one more word about gun control, I'm going to start killing people. Right? They getting ready to fight the government if they have to. Now you know they're crazy, right? But they're not so crazy, because everything they're doing, you need to be doing. Because historically, the right wing, the militia class, has always had a key target, and that key target has always been you, right? And so when I start to tell black people they need to arm themselves, start to train, start to prepare, get a generator, get a 4-wheel drive vehicle, get a pistol, a rifle, and a shotgun, learn how to store food, learn how to clean water, learn how to fish, they look at me like I'm damn crazy. Okay, well, if you don't want to listen to me, that's not going to stop what I do. We're going to be prepared over here. Okay, that's 308 762 by 51 with an EO tech, a little magnifier so I can make sure I see you clearly. We're going to be prepared over here. And one thing I always say, when shit hits the fan, and it did in Jacksonville just recently, power was out, things were flooding, and don't come running to me, because I tried to tell you. Aurelius, the wonderful counselor on Facebook, we got to be getting prepared. It's a mindset. He's absolutely right. So, Vern, I said what I had to say on that. You take it away.
As far as which one? Defend ourselves or being prepared, bro?
Both. They fall in the same one. Prepping and survival.
So basically for prepping, you want to be ready for any kind of natural disaster, as well as like wartime, as crazy as it may sound, but you just gotta be ready for everything. So like you said, you want to have weapons, ways to eat if like you can't get to the stores to buy food. Obviously, you gotta be able to grow food, catch food, make sure the food is safe to eat, and have it for a long enough time. You gotta have places to go. For example, if there's chemicals, some kind of chemical warfare, you want to have a way to escape the chemicals.
Escape strategy.
Things like that. Obviously, certain vehicles, off-road vehicles, everything like that. And also in time of just plain old self-defense, in modern days you gotta have hand-to-hand combat first off, as well as firearms if that's necessary. And for people who can't have guns, crossbows, bow and arrows, things like that, maybe a blade if necessary, and just be willing and ready to fight to the end.
Absolutely. I agree with everything Vernon said. And the thing about it is this. Reyes was right, because it's a mindset. We got to have a mindset to protect our children. And it's going back to Dr. Baruti and irritated here. Our children are being molested day in and day out right up under our nose. You got to have a protection mindset with your children. Whoever the hell you let in your house is a potential threat. Okay? Yeah. The uncles, the aunts, whoever you let in your house, the cousins, they're a potential threat. You need to have constant vigilance every damn day. It's amazing what they're doing to our children. That's the main way they feminize our black males, is they get them molested. Somebody gets out of prison and comes home, and we let little Tyrone just get out of prison. We welcome him home with a big party, but Tyrone done learned some illegitimate things in prison. And not only that, if Tyrone doesn't get directly to your child, he gets to one of the other family members' boys, and then that boy gets to your child. You got to have a vigilant military mindset with your children because they will molest your children. They will touch your children. I mean, me, I always have a lot of my BPM children in and out the house, but I don't even trust them around my daughters. You can't trust hardly anyone, right? Who do you trust? The mom and the dad, right? Now Vern, I trust Vern because we came from the same womb, and you know I trained him for 17 years. But other than that, you better watch anybody that's around. I don't want anybody alone with my daughters. I'll put it like this. I remember when my second daughter was born, and one of the nurses in the hospital said, we have to take her away to go do blood work. I said, what the hell you got to take her away for? Do the blood work right here. Oh no, we had to take her in a back room. I don't know what the hell you finna inject my daughter with. I don't know what the hell kind of fake ass vaccines you got planned, but we don't want them. But we have to, I said, let me tell you something. Wherever she goes, we're gonna go. And I had me, I had Vern, and I had another one of my BPM soldiers. And when they took my daughter to go do this blood work, we went with them. And I could tell that no black man had ever done this before because they said, oh, sir, there's nothing to worry about. It don't want to take a few minutes. I've been doing this for years. I said, listen, my daughter is in there. We're going to stand here, right? Don't be afraid unless you plan to do something crazy, right? Unless you plan to do something crazy. Because I'm here and I got back up. And I'm not a rapper, but I got back up and I'm ready to act up, right? And that's the mentality we have to take with our children. That's the mentality we have to take all day, every day. And if your children are in daycare, my daughter goes to a daycare, you really got to go examine that place. You really got to go check those people out. You really got to make sure there's no sick people there because every day is another video of somebody slapping a damn baby. How you slap a 2-year-old? Okay, let's add them to the list. Let's put them to the list with the men that abandon their children. If you get caught slapping a 2-year-old or hurting a little baby, you deserve to die. Any objection? No objections. It's passed. All right. Now, I'm just going to hit these last few points very quickly. As black men, we have to learn how to lead. We have to be leaders in our households. We have to be strong. We have to be forceful with our opinions. We have to be ready to make decisions. One of the things I hated most about my dad, because my dad was a man in some areas. He could fight like a pit bull, but he was a wimp in some areas because he was afraid to make decisions. He was afraid to advise you on anything because if it went wrong, he didn't want it to fall back on him. A real man has to be proud. Big Judo said no objection. It's passed into law. It's in, okay? He didn't want to give you an opinion because he didn't want, if that opinion turned out wrong, he didn't want it to fall back on him. That's not manhood. Lead your family. Speak your mind. Be strong. Be aggressive. A real man is a bully most of the time. Why do I say that? When I go in the courthouse, I already know 99% of my clients are black, so they're assumed guilty. The odds are stacked against them. And either I'm going to lay down or I'm going to fight like hell. Well, fight like hell, sometimes I end up being a bully because I'll overtalk anybody. I'll crowd the podium when we approach the judge. I talk louder. I do whatever I have to do. A real black man has to be a bully sometimes. A lot of times to keep from being walked all over. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't even call it a bully. I just call it being assertive. Right? Because when a white man speaks his mind, he's assertive. He's strong. They said Obama was too weak to be a leader, but Trump was strong. He speaks his mind. Well, damn it, black man, be like Donald Trump. Now, I didn't say grab him by the... I didn't say do all the dishonest stuff that Trump is doing. He might be out of there real soon. But at least be a man. At least speak your mind. Right? Sometimes they offer my clients deals that I know we can't accept. Hell no, we ain't going to take that. We got to come up with something else other than that. Right? But if I was a little wimp, I'll bow down and accept anything. I can't accept that because if I just accept the felony, we can go to trial before I accept the felony. What the hell else do I got to, what do I got to lose? Right? Okay. All right. So I hope I covered that. But this is the next thing. When I say lead your family, you also got to only lead where you're the leader. And you're only the leader where you're the most fit and the most knowledgeable and the most capable. What do I mean by that? As Africans, we have always had gender roles. They weren't based on oppression. They weren't based on subjugating the woman. They were based on, as Brother Baruti, Dr. Baruti would say, functionality. Right? Some things the woman is better at than the man. Do you agree with that, Zeke? Mm-hmm. No, I'm going to take that back. Most things the woman is better at than the man. Right? I tried to sit down and think of all the areas that I need to be a leader in my house. And the only thing I could think of was protect and provide. I can't do nothing else. Right. Am I right, Zeke? Talking about get my daughter up, get her dressed, get her to school on time. Make sure the bills are paid on time. Make sure that everything is in order. Make sure when someone invites us to something, we go. Make sure. I don't do none of it well. If you invite me to your wedding, I'm not going to come unless you tell my wife. Nothing's going to happen. If the bills were going to be left up to me, they would be late every month because I would be spending the money on something else. I'd have to bring the money and give it to my wife. And everything's going to be paid on time, right on time, and everything is going to be smoothly. Left up to me, nothing would work. The other day, I had to try to get Journey dressed, and it was a travesty. I can't do it because I don't know what girls are supposed to wear. And do not ever let me have to do her hair. It won't go well. Okay? Most things women do better than men. But the few things that we do, we do well. Well, when it comes to protecting the house, I take care of that. Well, me and Vern. The men can do that the best. I'm the best fighter. I'm 280. Right? I can handle the Desert Eagle, the AK. Well, my wife can too, though, the shotgun. But I can handle that. I'm going to make sure the doors are locked, the alarm is set, the guns are in place, the dogs are in place. I'm going to make sure we're ready for some type of catastrophe. But let's just be honest, man. Mostly everything else the women do better than we do. They can cook better than we do. My wife is a lot. She plans ahead better than I do. You can tell her wedding is coming up a year down the road and she got it on the calendar and bought plane ticket. You tell me the wedding is coming up a year down the road, I might say, I don't know if you some bitches got. I mean, but they do most things better than we do. So lead in the category where you're the best. All right, then that'll be the natural division of labor. No one will be mad, right? No, I'm not ever gonna say, Melanie, why did you put Journey on that? How the hell do I know? Like Kanye said in that song, stupid. What the hell do I know? No. I don't know anything, so let's leave that alone. All right. Now we're moving on down the line. A man should be a teacher. In my family, I'm the teacher. Not ABC 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 1 was 2, but I'm talking about the ideology, the historical, socio-political perspective, the way we're going to view these issues and the way we're going to act upon these issues. You ought to know your history. You ought to know the context of this society. You ought to have, as Big Judo is talking about, the military mindset. You ought to be putting that into your wife. You ought to be putting that into your children. That's a man's job. If your wife is the one setting the tone as far as the political, historical ideology in your house, that means you need to get to studying it and go ahead and take up the slack, because you're not being a leader, you dummy. Maybe you ought to put down the PlayStation and stop buying all the Michael Jordan shoes. But I ain't going to get into that right now. I do not like people who wear Michael Jordan shoes, but I ain't going to get into that right now. All right. And last but not least, you have to have a warrior pit bull mentality. What you think I mean by that, Vern?
You gotta, in every aspect that you in life, you gotta be willing to come back and just keep fighting as much time as it takes to succeed. And even if you feel like you can't go no more, just crawl through the finish line, do whatever it takes, and you gotta be relentless and tenacious to the bitter end.
Amen. Vern just summed that up perfectly. Vern said, if you have to, crawl through the finish line. Right? Let's go ahead. Now we get into the bottom of manhood. Now, let me put out this disclaimer. I grew up in a black ghetto in Orlando where drugs, violence, and dog fighting were prevalent. And although I do not condone violence to animals, animal cruelty, I don't want Peter coming after me like they came after Michael Vick with Peter's hypocritical ass. But anyway, let me go ahead and put this all out there before I start saying what I'm about to say. I do not participate in, nor do I condone, nor do I support dog fighting or any harm to animals. Now that's out the way. The pit bull was created in Europe for blood sports, animal blood sports, bull baiting, bear baiting, and eventually dog fighting. These dogs were bred to have the attributes that would make them the best warriors. They had to have stamina, they had to have aggression, they had to have tenacity, and they had to love to fight. And the key factor, as Zeke said, they couldn't quit. Right? Now, listen to me now, because this is all going to come together. I'm not advocating animal cruelty. I'm talking about black manhood. The key factor in a modern dog fight is whether the dog will continue to fight. Right? Last time I checked. You could have a dog that body slams, pummels, and pulverizes the other dog for 30 minutes to an hour straight. But if that dominant dog becomes tired, weary, and doesn't want to fight anymore, he loses. Am I right, Vern?
Correct.
So it doesn't matter who's the most powerful. It doesn't matter who's the strongest. The only standard in a dog fight is who will continue to fight. Am I right, Vern? So you could be there and broke my rib, broke my ear, broke my leg, but if I continue to come forward and you back up, you lose. Okay, manhood. When you're a black man in America, the odds are against you. Can we say that, man?
Right.
You're already black, you're already a male, which means they're afraid of you. They want to effeminize you, incarcerate you, or over-medicate you and make you insane. The economic order is against you. The competition is not fair. Black labor, white wealth, Dr. Claude Anderson. They've amassed fortunes and oligarchies and monopolies and things before you even got here. The odds are already against you, right? The women have been indoctrinated not to respect you. The police are going to target you. The odds are already against you. I say all that to say this. You're going to have a hard battle. You cannot quit. You have to be willing to fight and push and strategize and think and fail and fall and come back again with a more creative strategy and never give up and keep fighting, just like a pit bull, right? That's why I love pit bulls. That's the only dog I'll ever have. I don't want a Rottweiler, a German Shepherd, a Cocker Spaniel. I don't want nothing that they're coming up with to try to make it better than the pit bull. Because the way you know the pit bull is the best, because it's just like a black man. Whatever they try to make better than the pit bull, the first thing they put in the potion is a pit bull. Right? Every dog they try to come up with to be better than a pit bull. They got these band dogs and these other things that they're coming up with. Every time they try to make something tougher than a pit bull, the first breed they start with is a what? Pit bull. So that tell you, man, you already got it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll close out with this. When I was in law school, there were days that I had to study for 13 hours straight. When I was in bar prep, I would study for 8 to 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, 1 day of rest. It was $1,000 to take the test, and coming from my background, $1,000 was a lot of money. Hell, $1,000 still a lot of money. You fail the test, well, you better get ready to study again and come up with another $1,000. Even when I passed the test, I couldn't practice law because of my character fitness. Even when my character fitness went through, I couldn't practice law because I didn't have a job. Meaning I had to go create my own job, but when you start practicing as an attorney, you don't have any clients because no one trusts a new guy on the block with their life on the line. So what did I do? I had to struggle and struggle and struggle and depend on who? God and my black wife, right? The moral of the story is that I couldn't quit. The moral of the story is I had to keep fighting. The moral of the story is I had to go ahead and get one client and win that case. Try to find a way to get another one and win that case. Use that to get another one and win that one until you get to the point where you have consistent clientele and you can actually make a living. But in the beginning of a business, you can't even make a living off that business. Let's just get that clear. But you cannot quit. That's the characteristic of a warrior pit bull. That's the last factor. Listen, ladies, if you got a man who start down the road, give up on that, want to go the other way, give up on that, that's not no man. Right? That's not no man. A man can get on that road. It can be rough as hell, tough as hell, tiresome, and just feel defeated, and just feel just like you, but the man can't give up. Right? So, those are the characteristics that I have for real black manhood. Yes, real black manhood is under attack. Yes, BPM is bringing black manhood back. Yes, there's still real black men around the country. And I'm going to let Zeke close us out. Whatever you want to close them out about real black manhood.
All right, just like we said today, remember, real black man is a warrior. He's a protector and a provider, and you gotta be ready and willing to fight and die for what you believe in at any moment. That's it.
And any of you young ladies out there 18 and under who would like to possibly be potential wives for not wives, a wife, okay, we're not practicing polygamy here, for Vernon Ezekiel Jackson, also known as at him again, you're gonna have to inbox me, and we'll evaluate your GPA, your career goals, your spirituality, your physical fitness, your mental health, your emotional health, your tendency toward feminism, because we're not accepting any feminists, are we, Vern? No. And if you go ahead and pass the bill, then I'll pass your information along to Vern and see if there's a possibility. But I'm gonna be doing what they did in Africa, where they weeded out the individuals, and it's going to be arranged marriages. Yeah, y'all don't like it, but they got a lower divorce rate than us. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Last but not least, I'm going to give you guys a list of black manhood books that everyone should read. Hold that, Vern. So I can go through these listed books. Number 1, Robert F. Williams, Negroes with Guns. Every black person should read that. Y'all got it on Instagram? Okay, make sure y'all got it. We're on 3 different mediums here. Autobiography of Malcolm X. clearest, most articulate, powerful, persuasive, effective voice on behalf of black nationalism and manhood in recent history. Gotta read that, okay? Homosexuality and the Effeminization of African Males. Mlamu Baruti. Now, as you can see, I'm only 113 pages in. It's already increased my level of understanding in multiple ways. Gotta get that one. This is the Black Manhood reading list. Okay? How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney, however you want to say it. They killed this brother for writing this book. He gives you the truth about Africa's role in the world and what we provided for others. Civilization of Barbarism by Sheikh Anta Diop. Diop was once my very favorite scholar, and I really love this book because of his step-by-step analysis of Thutmose and his conquering. Okay? See if you can bring that back. I can't go through all the books again, but I can tell you something is going on with Instagram, so we'll finish this where we are. The Destruction of Black Civilization, Chancellor Williams. A few of the major components, not a few, all of the major components of Black Manhood is covered in this book, and he gives us an action plan to go ahead and organize around at the end of the book. After walking us through African history for thousands of years, what more could you ask for? And last but not least, I would say, The Blueprint for Black Youth Empowerment by Attorney Vernon Jackson, and Nothing to Show for It by Attorney Vernon Jackson. Now, remember, whenever they go feminine, we go masculine. Because the men can't be feminine along with the women. We must have balance. As our ancestors taught in ancient Kemet, we must have balance. BPM for life. Y'all have a good one.